It's like the worst right brain, left brain thing out there. Like, right? Part of your head's going like, the histogram is this, and I should off that, and you can't bring the highlights and that HDR and all that stuff. And the other part of your brain's going, shut up, I'm trying to take a picture here. You know? Right? It's crazy. So, for me, it was a big thing, and I wanted to actually understand how the light works. Really, really a big thing. So, in this case, there is no lighting really that's coming from above him because there wouldn't be. He's 60 stories up, right? So I wanted to see if I can make the light happen like he was lit by the glow of the city, like Batman or something, but sort of like that, right? And you can look through magazines and there'll be people in all kinds of outdoors, indoors, everywhere, and 99% of them are kind of lit the same, you know? And I just think lighting is so infinitely varied. That's what I was talking about on movie sets, is you almost never saw a naked light and you almost never saw a naked lens. There's tons of filtration going on all the time. Tons of it, right? Like at school, we learn all about light balancing, neutral balancing. But then once we've done that, then we can have fun, right? Because there is no white light, right? There's no white light in this room. They used to say there's white light in Rochester at 12 noon on July 4th or something like that, and that's about it. There is no white light, right? Like what makes light interesting is that this light is whiter than that light, which is yellower, which is, that stuff back there is yellower still. He's blue, that's how you know it's dusk, because it's blue. If it was just gray, it would just look kind of cloudy, you know? But it's blue. We did the color temperature cooler, it looks like dusk, right? And it was dusk, the lights are coming out, but still. But years ago, I would have done a picture like that. And definitely, I used to shoot corporate pictures for many years for annual reports. And in those days, I would have filtered those fluorescent lights to make them white, right? I would have used the magenta filter. And now, being a more sophisticated person, I think green is artful. I think it's artistic. So I decided to go for it, and I thought it actually looked really nice. So I wanted to make sure he was lit by the same color, so it would look like it was tied in. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just light him with green lights because it looks groovy. I lit him with green lights because there's green light in the background, and it kind of anchors him into the environment. If he's just lit with 5,000 degree Kelvin, perfectly neutral, octabank, super fab lighting, he's in a different world, lighting world, from the rest of the picture. I want to integrate him into that picture. It's a big thing for me. So that's what we did. That's us shooting it. There it is on the cover. So I've done a bunch of covers for Time. Something like, oh, I don't know, 74, but who's counting? And the thing that's been interesting about it for me is that when I've shot for other magazines, every magazine sort of always has this kind of angle, or its little spin on stuff, or its editorial twist in a way. And what I loved about Time is that I didn't feel like that was there. Like if you were going to do a picture of, I don't know, Bono from U2, and you're going to shoot him for Fortune magazine as a cover, that would be one kind of picture, right? There he's like a money machine, he's a philanthropist, right? If you're going to shoot him for a cover of Rolling Stone, that's probably a different kind of picture, right? If you're going to shoot him for like a Yoga Monthly, because he does yoga, that's like another picture, right? They're just different kinds of pictures. What I liked about Time is I felt like there was kind of no agenda. I just felt like the idea was to take the best picture I could take, and have it be a picture that would be kind of lasting, timeless, actually. And that's what I would that would be what I would aspire to. And also because Time is a general interest magazine, what was good was that it doesn't have an audience that's predisposed to have any particular knowledge or interest in the subject. You know what I mean? It's like you're shooting for a sports magazine, everybody's into sports. You're shooting for a fishing magazine, everybody's into fishing. So with this magazine, there are people who don't know who he is out there, right? So it was up to me to make the picture compelling enough that someone would be interested, right? The Giuliani pictures, like he's just a white guy in a tie, right? There's lots of them out there. But the idea is to make the picture have some drama, really. So here's Bruce, and he's about as nice as they come. I'm happy to report. Many celebrities are not. He's exactly what you would hope he would be. And he had just come out with the album The Rising. It was after 9/11. And I coordinated this with like his coordinating person. And I was going to be photographing him out in New Jersey at his home. And I thought maybe we could shoot in the recording studio, not as a cover, but for inside the magazine, maybe in the recording studio, because that's what they did, you know, some recording for it. And she said, oh, no, you're not going to be shooting at the house he lives in. You're not going to be shooting at the house he lives in. And I was like, does he have like a photo house? I don't know. Maybe that Richie have like a photo house. Get your picture taken. And she said, well, sort of, actually, right? And he lives on a farm, and he bought up other farms in the area, New Jersey, and fixed them up, and then the band members stayed there when we were recording, friends from out of town, that kind of stuff. So we shot him at a photo house, I guess, and that's where we worked. But again, for me, it's a lighting thing, because this thing was shot at night, right? And I wanted to feel like light coming in the window, the really nice window light, right? So there are actually strobes. This is our second floor. There are strobes outside on a stand sitting on the roof of the little slopey roof. There's a light under the camera. There's a light slightly above the camera. And all the lights have a little bit of color on them. If you notice, the shadows aren't exactly all the same. Where's this guy? There he is. Like there's a little blue shadow there, sort of. There's warmer light coming in the window. But that's what makes it feel like natural window light to me. So it's a big thing, right? And at the time, I was doing a lot of work with 8x10. I shot a lot of 8x10 pictures with portraits. And ever since I started using the amazing Canon digital cameras, I haven't been using my large format stuff at all. Right? So, but at the time, that's what I was doing. I used to like those cameras because you aim a big wooden deer door at somebody, and they basically shut the hell up and sit straight. It's like, whoa, this is serious. And they respect it. They appreciate that you're putting a lot of effort into it, and it's a very methodical way to work. Right? I quite like that. And even now, when I'm using my incredible Canon 1DS Mark II and then 5D Mark II, even when I'm using those, a lot of times they're on a tripod and I work with a cable release, the exact same way I would with a large format camera. Not for everything, but it's that same kind of figured out process, right? And instead of having a ground glass, I have a little 3-inch ground glass on the back of my camera, right? Except it's even better because instead of showing me what I'm about to take that I hope I'll get, it shows me what I just got. We like that. That's good. Pictures are back to the drugstore. How cool is that? So, this is a picture of him done for the same story. These ran inside the magazine. And again, it's a lighting thing. This was the first setup we did. And it was late afternoon. And for this, there's literally just like a little quartz light out the window shining in, and a little like a fluorescent light on the floor that I brought. And there's no strobes. There's nothing popping and flashing, right? If you're not a model person, strobes can be very disconcerting. I mean, I use them all the time. But for not a professional person, it's a big deal, you know? They're standing there and all this like, this thing goes off and it's like, wow, so they're not used to it, right? And also they start to kind of anticipate it. So he was there and it was very quiet. Of course, the strobes I have all have busted fans, so they always make noise. And this thing was quiet, totally quiet in that room. And so we started playing. You know, it looks like a quiet picture, like it sets kind of a whole tone. And it was like for like 10 minutes. It was like, listen, we're just in there. The loudest noise was from my little leaf shutter in my old lens going for like half-second exposures, like cocking when it made this little exposure. That was about the loudest thing. This is the picture that ran as the cover. And what I oftentimes would do is I'd always try to. I had a studio, regular studio, for like 20-some years. It makes me cry. Like I paid over $1 million in rent. Oh my God. And I remember seeing a bumper sticker in Texas years ago, one of the other oil crises, and it said, it was a long bumper sticker. It said something like, "Lord, please let me make my second million, and this time I promise I won't piss it all away." Oh my God, I think the money I spent on the studio. Anyway, I had the studio for years, and really what I used it for was like a sandbox. I used it as like a little lab, a laboratory, and I would have people come in,